So I've built myself my dream home setup, and today I'm going to take you through it. Guys, welcome back to the What Life. Let's roll. Before I dive into the specs, what I did, how I did it, building a shed, putting a shed in my garden, let me just give you a little bit of a flashback. I had a shed here beforehand that was basically just a home for mice. I had my bike box in it and the mower. And I decided that I wanted to get a lot of my indoor training stuff just out the house. It takes up space. Despite what you might think, I do not live in a mansion in the countryside. So I thought I'd create a dedicated space, or a better dedicated space, to do my indoor training. Now, I'm a big believer in, you guys know how much I love esports, Zwift racing, and training. I'm a fair weather cyclist, so in the winter I'm not outside. I'm on the trainer. But I'm a big believer on creating an environment that you want to train in. I think that makes such a difference. So everything you're about to see is basically geared towards that. The small things, the big things. I'm really happy with this. And hopefully you'll see why. Feel free to rate my setup down below. Okay, let's check it out. First things first is the shed. So there was actually a shed here before, as I said, but it was just kind of sat on the floor. It was quite a bit smaller, and I realized that I had the opportunity to basically get rid of that and put something in myself. Now, if you are interested in putting a shed in the garden to do this, I'll drop all the links, everything down below. There will be links for whether it's trainer, whether it's the shed, and probably not the slabs and stuff from B&Q, but I will talk you through that just in case you kind of want to get involved with it. And I will say at this point that some stuff has been provided to me for free, other stuff I've paid for, and that'll come out in the wash, you'll see. So first things first was I went online and found a shed, one that I felt was going to be big enough for me to train in, but just not like completely swamp my little garden. So this is what I came up with. And I think it's maybe 16 by 10 at the most, something like that. But what I needed to do before that was get rid of the old shed, tear that down, and then I had to put down paving slabs. So to put down the slabs, I had to clear out as much of the area as possible, make it as flat as possible, and then I basically watched a YouTube video from B&Q on how to lay paving slabs, and it is quite important that they end up being as flat as possible, and I put quite a lot of time into this. And here's the whole thing. I did this entire project on my own. Didn't have any help, ordered a shed online, drove to B&Q, bought the stuff, brought it back, cleared everything out, paving slabs down, built the shed all on my own, and it took me one day. Okay, so these slabs and the pavings is really important. Make sure you kind of really clear out your area. Building the shed, let me talk you through that. As you can see, it's a pretty ordinary shed. I have a space, again, to put my bike box in and the mower. And then this side, I have all my fun toys, indoor gaming. It was hard building it on my own. I will be completely honest with you. It was a moment where I wish I had a friend or friends or any friends to come and help me, because it would have been so much easier. But I got the structure up in one day. So it became a functioning garden shed in one day. The small things like doing the coving and painting the thing or weather sealing it, that took a bit longer. So obviously the main point of putting this all together was for it to be bike focused, to give myself a little environment that I'm happy about going to train. But I also dived online and grabbed a wheel hook, bike stand, whatever you want to call it. I think it was £18, because it would give me somewhere to rest my bike where I knew it wasn't going to blow over at any point. And I'm really happy I put this in. So let's not get too excited, because fundamentally it is still just a little shed. but it's my little shed, and I've made little tweaks to it, or I've done little things that just make me so happy when I come to train. I had some Sportful flags lying around, a brand that I've kind of worked with for the last 3 years now, when I kind of first got into this whole kind of YouTube thing. And I think it's like these little touches. Sportful flags. I have my Zwift key card or name card from when we did the Zwift Community Live out in Mallorca, which was a camp that I paid to go on, with my name on it, and Zwift. And the small little touches to me actually mean quite a lot, especially when I leave my house and come out here, because yes, create a good environment and you'll want to use it more. So this was the whole point of the entire project. Somewhere to do my indoor training, somewhere to put my turbo. In this case, Zwift very kindly sent me a Zwift bike, which connects to a kicker, a Wahoo kicker core, and we've got the Zwift cog, so I don't need to run a cassette. And in theory, if I wanted to, I could just swap in and out any of my other bikes. I found this a lot of fun. The thing that I do like about it is there's just loads of adjustment to it. I don't know how you would order a different size frame, but the frame that they've provided, because of the amount of kind of design behind being able to adjust everything, I've managed to get it pretty much kind of how I'd like. Not sure what length cranks these come with, but I haven't got the ability to change them. Haven't really had a problem with it. The thing that I like about it is that it's like a dedicated Zwift bike. So it's just very cool coming in, doing a Zwift race, or coming in to do a Zwift session on this bit of kit, Zwift water bottles. Like for me, that's that little extra kind of silver lining that just makes this whole environment just so much more pleasing and kind of just, yeah, like it's awesome. So I'm by no means telling you to go out and get any of this kit. I'm just giving you a rundown on what I have and what I've been using. Zwift bike has been a lot of fun. It kind of gamifies it a little bit more. It makes it a bit more kind of in keeping with the fact that you are doing esports racing, that it's online, that it's digital. My old bike that I had on my last trainer was a mechanical group set. This is all digital, which does make it kind of that little bit more exciting. And it's my first time using like a digital e-sports setup to go racing and do any of my online workouts. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to. I think maybe that just kind of mechanical shifting, you know, where the buttons are placed on the levers, it's just slightly different to my normal setup. But other than that, like there's absolutely, you know, it's fantastic. There's nothing to, like, it's designed to do what I'm using it for. I think it looks awesome. I literally love coming in here and just either doing a session or diving into a race. Okay, so there's obviously tons of different ways that you can run Zwift. Obviously you can use a laptop, you can put that laptop into a TV. I didn't want to put a TV into a shed, felt a little bit excessive. I don't know whether that mentality will change down the line once it becomes winter and I'm in here every day for hour and a half at least. So I run the Zwift, I run it through an old iPad. I just went to a secondhand store. You can actually pick them up reasonably cheap. Bought myself an iPad and then I run it off that. Just check the specs online as to what iPad that you need to buy, because I was used to run Zwift on an iPad mini, but then because they kept upgrading the platform, upgrading the software, then my iPad mini no longer would handle the program, so I've had to swap it out. But I quite like it. I'm not too into trying to build like a grotesque environment to do my indoor training. Like I don't want to live in here, I don't want to watch kind of TV in here, I don't want to make it too much along those lines. I still want it to be a variable pain cave. So this is one thing that I absolutely love and would 100% recommend, which is a smart fan. This is the Psych Plus smart fan. The thing that I like about it is it will start up automatically when I dive on my bike. It connects to my heart rate monitor, it connects to the power meter, and it also connects to Zwift itself. So if I put down more power, or if I increase my speed, or my heart rate gets higher, the fan increases. This thing goes up to 50 kph. It's really quite quiet considering how fast it goes. I've just found that this thing is just absolutely brilliant. Obviously, I'm in a little shed. It can get really quite hot in here, especially when I'm doing like my evening Zwift sessions, and it's kind of start of August. Having a good fan makes a world of difference. When I was training inside, I had a different fan. It wasn't quite as powerful. Did a job, fine, perfect, done. But this is my ultimate Zwift setup, my ultimate shed setup. This has gone down very, very well. It's quiet, it's really fast if you need to be, and because of the way that it acts as a smart fan, changes with and connects to your heart rate sensor and your power meter, whichever power meter you might have, it will just increase its speed and change when you want. So you don't have to do an effort and then suddenly realize that you need more air to come out of your fan. This has been absolutely awesome. Not to oversell it too much, but it also comes with a little remote control that you can put on your handlebars, so you can have it a bit further away from you if you don't want to use the smart functions. Also comes with a stand base, or it comes with a base that goes on the floor. Now, if you're using the stand as I've got it set up now, the floor base can also be used for your front tire if you are using a turbo trainer. So I feel like they've thought of a few things that make this extra useful. You will need a power cable though to power it. There's just not one in there at the moment. So I'm not sure if this needs explaining or not, but when I was living in London in a 2-bed flat with my buddy, I used to have a treadmill in my bedroom, and we used to laugh about it, and I just used to refer to it as the track house, the place that, like, we call it the center of excellence, and the track house, the place where I would go or like get my training in, even though it was just a 2-bed flat and literally a treadmill in the corner of the room. And yeah, it's stuck. And 10, 12 years later, I now have a neon sign, and it does add to the environment. I think it's quite cool, like superfluous, don't need it, but adds to it. I like kind of flicking it on, coming in here in the evening, doing a session, creates the environment. And I am big, cannot stress this enough, big on creating the right environment. So I threw a mirror in here, and I got quite a few messages on Instagram when I shared that I put a mirror behind me on the bike, being like, why? Why is there a mirror behind you? And it's pretty simple, really. I like making Zwift racing videos, so a camera will be facing me. I just wanted to have something behind me that wasn't just a shed wall. And that's it. Plus, cheeky selfie at the end of a Zwift race. It does also make the little space seem and perhaps feel a little bit bigger. So one thing that you perhaps don't need but maybe want is a good set of headphones. I connect it up to my laptop so I can just watch YouTube, TVs, whatever I want whilst I train. And because of the fan, and it goes up to 50 kph, that can be quite aggressive. So having an over-ear headphone like this actually becomes quite useful, because you don't get that whooshing sound where you just can't hear anything because you've got so much wind in your face. So even though they are like a little bit hotter using them, I actually have found them pretty useful, and I'd recommend them. These are the J-Labs, and they aren't too crazy priced. And the other reason I like using over-ear headphones like this is simply the battery life on them lasts way longer. I think I've used like bone conducting headphones and just like little in-ear headphones, earbuds, quite a lot, and they're just smaller, so the battery life on them just doesn't last as long. And grabbing a pair that are big like this, I think just way more battery in them, so I can not have to worry about charging them every day just to come and do a training session. So the last thing is pulling together some knickknacks that just put you in the right frame of mind. Little gel corner, little speaker if I do just want to blast some music, and then a few keepsakes, trinkets, knickknacks, custom Strava cap that they sent me when I was verified on Strava. That's not like a hoo-ha, by the way. I just happened to meet the girl who does the verifying stuff when I was out doing a UTMB race in Chamonix last summer. We're having a chat and talking, and she very kindly said that she'd verify me on Strava, which, by the way, if you didn't know, means you get free Strava, access to premium for free. Whew. So I got my Strava knickknacks up here, a few of the stuff from the Zwift Mallorca camp again, which I paid to go to. And I just think creating an environment that you want to step into and you think, yeah, that's quite cool, makes such a difference, because it makes you want to come out here, makes you want to do a session, because we've all been there. We've all known that we've got tough, hard sessions to do and then kind of not want to do it. So if you create an environment that you want to step into, I don't know, makes it a little bit easier in some weird way, or at least means I kind of at least give it a go. I'd actually go as far to say that this whole setup has been a bit of a game changer for me, because previously I was running everything inside, like in a corner of a room that just wasn't massively appealing. I do it, obviously, because I like doing it, but creating a dedicated space that is, to me, just quite cool, quite nice to come into. It's been awesome, and I've really enjoyed coming and doing my Zwifting, all my training, my indoor training, because we are going to swap out this bike for a spin bike that I'm testing out for a few weeks. And it's made such a big difference, because my key goal over the winter is to keep improving. I finally managed to get my FTP up to 4 watts per kg. I have the Mallorca Masters coming up in 2 months, and I really want to be ready for it. I don't want anything to slip. And environment is everything. And if you have the ability and you can make something like this, then I'd 100% recommend it, because it's just like, it's awesome. Like, I love coming out here. And if you enjoy something anyway, why not create an environment that means that you're going to really enjoy it? So here's the last thing. I got myself an ice bath. I think it was perhaps a 40th birthday present from my family to me. I only ever use it in the summer, but I want to get more into doing a bike session and then diving out and doing 60 seconds, couple of minutes in just semi-cold water, because I don't put any ice in it, because I absolutely hate cold water. But I do think it's going to have a good amount of benefits, and not necessarily performance benefits, because that's not really what I'm looking for with something like this. I think it's really good for like well-being benefits in terms of improving circulation. And ultimately, that's kind of what I'm after. It's not just performance. You know, I want to live a good life, and well-being benefits mean quite a lot to me. So cheeky little ice bath, because why not? Right, so do let me know what you think of my Zwift setup. To me, it makes me happy, and that was the entire point of it. I love having like a dedicated space to come training. I love having a dedicated space to come training that's got all the little knickknacks inside that kind of makes me want to do it a little bit more. I think the small things matter a lot, especially when it's deep, dark winter. I think that's going to help, or I hope that's going to help. I was doing it anyway, so doing it in a place that's designed to do it, I think it's going to be easier, more fun, better, and that's a big tick from me. If you have any questions about, you know, how to do a shed, buy a shed, get a shed, paving, anything like that, I'm not an expert, but I have done it. Please do let me know what you think. Rate my setup down below. Drop me a follow, a like, subscribe, anything. Appreciate it, guys, and I will see you on another one soon.